Can you help? Can you help me? Can you help? Self-Helpless! Can you help? Can you help me? Can you help? Self-Helpless! Can you help? Can you help me? Can you help? Self-Helpless!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the last episode of Self-Helpless of 2019.
Whoa!
I'm Kelsey Cook.
I'm Delaney Fisher, sorry.
And I'm Taylor Tomlinson.
You know how long we've been doing this podcast. I'm staring you straight in the eyes. You're looking at me like you think we're going to have tea or something. I'm like, bitch, say your name.
Oh, right, you guys.
We're 15 people away from our 500-person Patreon goal.
Yes! That's so
pretty
close.
exciting.
Very exciting.
And we're gonna
Tomorrow, this records as a New Year's Eve, so perfect timing to
Yeah.
make some goals and resolutions.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Join Patreon if you want more Self-Helpless.
Yeah, when we reach 500, we're doing a live stream Q&A exclusively for our patrons.
Yes. Very excited for that.
Very cool.
We have a quotable buffet.
Yes.
It's exciting. We've got one from C.S. Lewis. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind.
I like that.
That is a nice one.
That's a nice thing to look
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to
nice.
think of that whenever something's ending or, you know, you feel like you're losing something. You go, okay, well, this is making room for something better.
I like it. I
sure,
like
for
it.
sure.
Yes. The next one from Oprah Winfrey. Year's end is neither an end nor a beginning, but a going on, with all the wisdom that experience can instill in us. Cheers to a new year and another chance for us to get it right. Oh, God, I love
Cheers
Oprah.
to you, Oprah.
I love
Yeah.
Oprah. Seriously, I've been in love with Oprah since I was like 10 years old. Like,
Yeah.
she is my queen.
She is. I want her
love
to be
her.
president.
Oh, gosh.
George Eliot said, "It's never too late to be what you might have been." I love that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is
That's
a
so good.
great
Oh,
one.
it's a good one.
How have we not said that yet?
I know. I can't believe we haven't said that.
That's
You
like
guys,
a-
this reminds me of that one I love where it's like, if you're worried about how old you're going to be when you do that thing, you're going to be the same age if you don't. Or something like
Yes.
that. Oh, that really strikes you,
I
right?
love that
oh,
one.
it's so
It's
good.
in the artist way. And then our last quotable, again, we love the Dalai Lama. Always got those good quotes. Once a year, go someplace you've never been before.
That's just good advice.
Yeah.
Sure is.
That is.
I like that.
That is.
Yeah. So we're doing our annual year wrap-up episode. Because we did this last year as well.
I
right?
think
we
so.
did.
I always
Well,
feel
we
like,
did like a resolution episode of some
Yeah.
kind, perhaps.
which I was just saying last episode, I cannot believe that this year is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I should have listened to our resolutions episode to see if I did any of this shit.
Oh my gosh, we should have.
Oh,
did not.
Maybe we'll do that for the next episode as like the
Yeah.
start of the year. We'll check in and be like, okay.
That's a good
did we
idea,
do it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like I did.
I probably didn't. It was probably manage my workaholism, and instead I started 2 more businesses.
I know, seriously. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna travel less, and now I've been home like 6 days this month.
Yeah.
So we have some studies on New Year's resolutions. Studies have shown that less than 25% of people actually stay committed to their resolutions 30 days after making them, and only 8% accomplish them.
Yeah, dude.
So, you know, if you failed, you're not alone.
Yes.
In a survey of over 1,000 people in the U.S. asking, what are your New Year's resolutions? 53% said save money. 45% said lose weight. I can't believe lose weight isn't first.
I was just going to say that.
That is, I know it's not
Save
far
money.
behind.
I
but-
never even think that.
I know. I mean, I think make more money.
Yes. Save
but not
money.
save money.
Yeah.
It's boring.
25% said
Live a
have
little.
more sex. 24% said travel more. 23% said read more books.
Nerds.
Ah. 22% said learn a new skill, 21% buy a house, 16% quit smoking, and 15% find love.
Wow, that's like the lowest one.
I can't believe
Very
find
cute.
love is the lowest percentage.
Yeah, below reading books.
I know. Seriously.
wow.
Don't you think find love is kind of a strange resolution to make? Because sometimes that feels a little bit out of your control.
I guess
Sometimes,
every
you know.
year that we are all together at my grandparents, we've maybe done this like 3 years. My sisters and I have done this thing where I think my mom used to do it when she was younger with my grandparents and stuff, where we get like a jar and we all write down predictions about other people, not about us, but about other people.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually, I think some of them are about yourself. And then you put them in the jar, and then the next year you open them all up, and you see like what came true and stuff,
That's
which is
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah, like I know
that.
one year. Maybe it was probably last year, because I think someone had written like Taylor's in like a really great relationship or something like that, and so I was like sent it to my boyfriend at the time. Was like, oh, look how nice it is. Cut to this year. No, I'm joking. Still in a nice relationship, different one, and
Just swapped it out.
just swapped it out. We're fine. But yeah, no, it's cool to see like what came true. And like one year was like Taylor sold a show. It was a year I sold a show. It didn't get made, but like things like that.
God,
It's
that's
just
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Very
it is a
cool.
fun thing to do. So if
I
you,
like that idea.
yeah, if you want, we should we should all do it and make predictions about each other. and
That,
see what comes
oh
out.
my God, that would be neat.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Very cool. I
like
love
that.
that. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a lot.
I like it a lot.
So on this episode, we're going to be covering 5 questions you should ask yourself at the end of each year to make the next one even better. So number 1, what goal did you set for yourself this year? And if you didn't accomplish it, why not? Have you ever said next year is going to be different, but then not followed through? Many people are guilty of this. Think about some of the goals you set for yourself at the beginning of this past year. If you didn't achieve them, how come?
I need to know what I said last year, and I bet it was probably like manage my workaholism, you know, all of those things. I actually, one of the things I think I probably wanted to like strengthen some of my personal relationships that I had not been like tending to, and I did do that this year, and I think that's like one of the things I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
Like that I actually followed through and did that.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember. I think mine was like set better boundaries.
Yes.
Like be better about that. I think I do continue to get better at doing that. And I can't remember if I made specific concrete goals, like in terms of do another late night set or whatever. But I know I said become a better comedian. And I do feel like by the end of this year, I'm a better comedian than I was a year ago. And that always
Yes.
feels good. And I did do another late night set.
Yeah.
It just airs next year, but I taped it this year. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did feel like I accomplished the things I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of mine was to travel less, which I did for like the first 5 months of the year, and then it kind of ramped up again.
Right.
That's a good chunk of time though to have like been keeping on it.
It is a good chunk of time. And I do think getting on the right medications was one of them for sure. And I tried at the beginning of the year, and then they didn't work out. And then there was, a 6-month stretch where I was just like, everything's going to be fine. I don't need it. And now I feel like, I'm still tinkering with it, but now I feel like I am.
That's
and so
great.
it did happen just
Yeah.
under the wire. I mean, not
right.
even just under the wire, because I got on them in like August.
Yeah.
So
But you're feeling like they're working. And
yeah,
like,
August feels like such a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a big one. And then, I think I made general goals about career stuff. Like we talked about this on our last episode. We just recorded for Girls Stop Apologizing. We just recorded
Yeah.
that episode before this one. And we were talking about setting like intentions and not putting a deadline on specific
Yeah.
goals so that you don't get like too down on yourself if you
Yeah.
don't do them within the year. But I do think the beginning of last year was the first time that I wrote down like an hour special on Netflix.
That's really
Not,
cool.
But
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
I was fully like, thinking like I wanted the half hour this year, and then
Yeah.
I wanted an hour like in a few years.
Right.
I thought like 28. That's what I was thinking. Like
Yeah.
28
Yeah.
to 30.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's something to just like putting it out there.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Because you're just thinking that way.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That encourages
That's
me
super
to like
cool.
not be afraid to make specific goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if we set resolutions in January on January episode, then I had just left my day job. So chances are I was probably like, I don't trust any of this yet.
Yeah.
So maybe my
Yeah.
resolution should be like trusting that I will continue to make money off my own business and all that type of stuff. And so, a year's gone by and I trust it more, not completely because I'm still, it's still new and I'm still like nervous about everything, but at least I have like a year's worth of evidence to like,
Yeah.
okay, I did the thing.
You've
Yeah.
definitely changed.
I did it.
Like, I remember right when you left it, you were pretty freaked out.
Yes. Very
About,
freaked
like,
out.
I don't know. Like, I hope this works out, but I just don't know for sure. And I feel like I hardly ever hear you say that anymore.
Yeah.
Because, like, kind of the proof is in the pudding. Like, you've been so successful in this year doing it. So it's like, yeah.
I think I've just like, you know what, I'll figure it out. If it does, not work out the way I want, then I would just figure it out. I'd get a job, or I'd do something
Yeah.
part time, or I'd something.
It is amazing how quickly things can change for you. And I think it's important to remember that when things aren't great too, because when things change for the worse very quickly, it is very jarring, but you got to remember like, oh, things can turn around just as quickly.
Yeah.
mean,
That's a nice way to look at it.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing I've learned this year, I think, is
Yeah.
like, yes, bad things can happen very quickly. And I think I had a lot of fear at the beginning of last year about like bad things happening. And I still do, but I think, when you go through like painful things that you were afraid of happening and they do happen, there is like a strength in that of like, oh, I can kind of get through anything.
Yeah.
And being afraid of all these things doesn't mean they're not going to happen.
Yeah.
It just means you're going to spend a lot of time afraid of them before they do.
I felt that way after the Brazilian waxing. I'll tell you that. I got through that. Fucking, I'll pop a kid out. How much worse can it be?
Oh my gosh, seriously? How funny. You like have a kid, they're like, are you okay? You're like, this was nothing compared to sugaring.
You don't know where I've
You
been.
have no idea.
I almost complained to my mom about how painful it was, and I was like, I tore her vagina with my body, so she probably doesn't want to hear about it.
That's really funny.
All right. So we move on to number 2.
Yeah.
So the second question, where did the majority of your time go? Think of time as an investment. You have 24 hours in a day, and wherever you choose to invest those hours, you will see a return. If you invest your time in beneficial things, reading, practicing your craft, working out, etc., you will get smarter or get better at what you do, etc. If you invest your time in things that aren't beneficial for you, like hanging out with negative people or binge watching Netflix every weekend, then you will see your investment give you a return there as well. You will probably become more negative, or you might adopt poor time management habits. In order to move forward with any goal or project, you have to be extremely aware of how you spend or invest your time. So this past year, where did the majority of your time go, and was it time well spent?
I really like this question.
That's a
and
really good
thinking of
one.
time as an investment. You know what? The thing that came to mind first that makes me so grossed out is I feel like it was to social media.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Just like on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Obviously, like doing stand-up for a living, a lot of your time is invested in that. But it's weird because your time on stage is actually so small.
yeah.
I know that like writing and getting to the gig and all that stuff. Ugh, sorry, my nose is running. But I feel like I am on social media so much every day, which has had a positive impact in certain ways. Like if your following grows, I've had really cool opportunities where like I've gotten to stay at hotels on the road for free in exchange for like, giving them a shout out on my social media, which is like, that's positively impacting my ability to travel and my finances.
Right.
And it's cool to have like your comedy reach more people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But also social media can have a very negative impact as well on your mental health. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel a difference when I don't pay attention to social media. Like I haven't posted in like a week and a half, which
How
is
do you
pretty
feel?
long for me. I feel pretty good. And I
What
kind
happens to your numbers when you do that?
nothing.
They go up, they go down
They don't do anything. I mean, they've been going up, but not like
dramatically.
any differently.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like I'll get new followers, but
Yeah.
sometimes if I post too much, I lose followers.
Yeah.
More so than posting too little, I
Yeah,
think. I think I tend to feel better when I don't post
Sure.
as much.
I'm sure.
It takes a lot of mental energy to just plan
Oh, so
posts and
much.
be like, then you're always checking. And like, if you don't post for a while, you don't have anything to check. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is, like I haven't
It's a slot machine.
I haven't posted in a week and a half. So I'm like, well, I don't need to check that app because there are no notifications
Yeah.
that I feel strongly about checking. I mean, I guess I've been on Twitter, but not on Instagram. And Instagram's the one that'll suck me in the longest.
Right.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. I think the most time I've spent, probably working. I think that's been if I had my pie chart in front of me, I think work would be a big part of it. I think it's also because I had just started a new business. And so as like a new business owner, entrepreneur, whatever, I was working really, really long hours, more so than I was at my corporate job, to make sure everything would run smoothly and all that stuff. But I think I'm in a much more balanced place now where I like basically have normal 9 to 5 hours that I've kind of given myself, with more breaks and more flexibility. So I think I'm in a better position than I was at the beginning of the year, where it felt very off balance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I like that question a lot.
Yeah.
Number 3, who did you spend the most time with?
Oh.
The way we develop as human beings is in a room of mirrors. We sculpt ourselves based on the interactions we have with other people. Some people challenge us in good ways and we grow positively. Others tear us down. Some encourage, some discourage, some amplify fear, some dissolve it. Who you spend your time with is as important as how you are spending your time, because the two go hand in hand. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people before the new year begins. Check your circle, and if it's not helping you, it's time to move on. Ooh, I love that question. I think it's nice to like be asked that every now and again, because I think we get like comfortable in certain relationships and like friendships and stuff, and you're like, is this like the right person to have in my life as a friend still? You know what I mean? Like, who do you guys feel like you spend the most time with?
Cam.
Yeah.
Spent the
And
most
your
time
dog.
with Cam and Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I think I really saw my friends and family more this year, which I think was probably one of my resolutions that I stuck with.
Yeah, you did a good job of that.
I like went out of my way, made an effort more so than I have any other year to do that, and I was able to because of my new schedule, working from home and making my own hours. So I was able to like go up at 3 p.m. to see my little sister's softball game or what stuff that I wasn't able to do with my corporate job. So I think I'm really happy with who I spent my time with.
That's
This
awesome.
year, I would say.
Yeah.
How about you, Tay?
Yeah, I think I made an effort. I'm pretty good about not spending time with people who aren't important to me. I think once I called off my engagement and went through my breakup, I put a lot of time into like fostering friendships within like the comedy community that I just didn't have time for before, because it was all going to my relationship, which I don't regret doing. That's what I want to do in a relationship. And I do feel like it was a good use of my time, even though it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I do think I am still trying to make enough time for like, it's just hard to schedule. I mean, it's hard enough for the three of us to schedule to podcast, and then anytime we all hang out in any way, we're like, oh, this is nice. And like I would love to see my sisters more, and it's just hard to see them. Like the holidays are nice because it's an excuse for everybody to get together, but like now everybody has very serious partners, and so like everyone's partners were over for Thanksgiving, and it just changes the dynamic, and it gets harder and harder to see the people you care about as you get older and busier. So I think I want to be better about that this next year for sure, just about scheduling time far in advance, as opposed to like, hey, what are you doing this week? Like, can we figure out, like, really going out of your way to make sure you see people.
For sure. Well, especially with our schedules where like we know so far in advance when we work, like if you don't make time to just be like, I'm scheduling this weekend as I'm going to do this thing with my friends, or I'm going to go on this vacation with my boyfriend, like it will get filled with work.
Absolutely.
It just will. It has to be like, you have to like already book airfare and hotel, so you like can't like wiggle out of it.
Yeah.
Because I've done that where I like plan a trip with friends from home, and then I get offered something and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like close to wiggling out, but I'm like, you know what? No, I want to do this. I already have like, I've spent the money to get there and do it, so I'm not going to back out. And I'm never like, oh, I regret doing that trip with my friends because I could have been like working a club that weekend. I'm always like, oh, this was absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah. And it's always, I think it's good to ask yourself this even maybe more than once a year, because I think especially friendships, like you can outgrow friendships.
Yeah.
And people can be great for like a season in your life or a chapter or a time, and not everybody's supposed to be forever. So it's good to be constantly checking in with yourself and going, okay, is this relationship still serving me, whether it's friends, romantic, whatever it is,
Right.
as opposed to just kind of like trudging along until you go, well, I don't even want to see this person anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I loved your
Yeah.
joke last night about like parents are like an ex-boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
No, I can do it. The joke I did, I posted it on Twitter, and I've done it on stage maybe like 5 times, maybe 6, and like
Yeah.
there were 2 times that it didn't really work that well, and then but the majority of the time it is working, but it's a new one, right? So like at this point, my parents are like an ex-boyfriend, like they were what I needed at that time in my life, but now it's best we don't speak.
I love that. It's so
That's really good.
relatable and true.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's how I feel about them. I'm like, you have served your purpose.
Right. You
So
fed me.
relatable.
And,
Yeah.
clothed
I
me.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely spent the most time with Kane, which I think is like pretty like duh when
Yeah.
you live with that person and they're your husband.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd say you guys are the people I spent the second most time with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I love.
And I
I'm
do
very
feel like
happy.
you went on a good amount of trips with like friends from home and stuff.
I
You did a great
did.
job of that.
Yeah.
I think that was probably part of my resolutions from last year as well, was to like continue that trend from the previous year, was like really make that a priority. And I'm always happy when I do. Like, fills me up so much. I'm about to do that. My best friend, by the time this comes out, she will have had her baby. We're about to go see her. I'm
Oh,
so
snap.
excited. And yeah,
awesome.
it's just important. It also makes me like continue to love stand up and not feel burnt out.
Yes.
Because it just like totally replenishes me to do that.
Yeah, my first like high school friend this year also had a baby, and it was so fucking cool to say. And your best friend
Yeah,
had a
I know.
baby. Like it's cool to see your friends become moms.
Yeah.
and just step into that role and be like, oh my gosh, like you're keeping something alive now.
I
Like
know.
that's nuts.
It's
I know. I
crazy.
became a godmother this year.
That's so
Yeah.
exciting.
McKenna's my goddaughter.
Aw,
Yeah.
she's
She's
so
oh my
cute.
god, she's like
Cutest baby.
the cutest
Perfect
baby
little
I've ever
Gerber
seen in my
baby.
life. She is
Yeah.
just an angel.
Yeah.
She's
I love her
darling.
so much.
Oh, God. I don't want one. Okay.
The next question, number 4. Are you in love with the idea of something, or are you in love with the process? Oh, yep.
Good question.
That is a great question.
Don't fall in love with the idea of something. Fall in love with the process it takes to get there. The truth is, chasing the end of a path is what leads so many astray. And the ones that actually reach the prized end don't see it as an end because they are so in love with the process.
Yeah.
A lot
I
of
love
people
that.
want to be a professional this or a famous that, but is it the idea of that title or status that drives you, or the love of the craft in the first place? If you want to do something great in life, look for the latter. Look for the thing you would do even if no one was watching, even if no one validated you for it. That's the path that will carry you the furthest. Whew! That is so
Love
good.
that.
That's
So
so
true.
good.
I love that.
That's
I-
where I was with stand-up.
Yeah.
I the idea of some of it was really cool, and I hated almost every second of it, except for a
Wow.
very, very small percentage. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm not doing this for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
This was how I felt in school, because my parents were really strict and they had me like get straight A's no matter what. And I remember thinking every time I got the report card that had all A's on it, I was like, this was not worth it. Like
Yeah.
this
Oh.
did not feel worth all of the pain I endured to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to, having a few B's or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, this was not good enough. And I think you could feel that way about doing something like doing the Netflix special. I mean, the Netflix special was a day. That was one day.
Yeah.
And if I had just been the type of person who's like, I need a Netflix special, but I hated stand up and I hated performing and like hated doing
be
the road,
miserable.
I'd be
Wouldn't have been
miserable
worth it.
and I would have, I think, crashed harder afterward. But I'm like, and now I'm enjoying the process of building a new hour, even though it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like so stressful to have to write new material and be kind of on a deadline and like not feel funny all the time. But like, I've been really loving like sitting down at my desk every day for hours and just like trying to
Yeah.
figure out what else to say and what else to talk about. And I do
great.
think there are a lot of people in this business, especially, and I mean, in any job, like people who want to be a lawyer or a doctor because they like the idea of being that. And then
Yeah.
they get there and they're like, I'm miserable. I don't even like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Absolutely. And I think especially like if you were an overachiever growing up, like so many of us have talked about and shared, you kind of get addicted to that like trophy or the certificate. But like you said, it was like, what? That didn't even enjoy it. And I just was like miserable this whole time just so I have another trophy in my room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I've had
Very
to
empty.
I've had to realize that too, where I think I've taken on pressure to achieve and accomplish from like other people, like we were kind of talking about this last episode, and realizing like, hey, it's okay. Like if it's okay if you get B's and C's and you don't kill. I wish I could go back and not kill myself over A's and extra credit and A pluses. I wish I would have had more fun.
Yes.
And I think recently my parents were saying, hey, well, you should talk to I have 3 younger siblings. Oh, you should talk to the kids about like, getting better at their homework or doing this. And I'm like, honestly, I don't know what I would tell them. I don't think I would tell them to do what I did. I think I'd be like, yo, just calm down. C plus B is fine.
Yeah.
And just enjoy your time, relax, go do some yoga in the backyard or something. Don't try to get straight A's if it's really affecting your mental health and your well-being and you're burnt out. Like I don't think I would do it the same. I'm glad I did because I know what I'm like capable of, but I don't think I would do that. I think it was a really unhealthy pattern to get into, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year marked 10 years of doing stand-up for me, which is
Oh
like
my gosh,
such
wow.
a crazy like time to really look back and evaluate and be like, wow, to do 10 years of anything is strange.
Yeah.
And I was really happy to go, oh, wow, I still really love doing this. It's a good time to check in and be like, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Do you only care about the product? And I really still love just doing it and like writing. And I still get excited when, I write a new joke and I'm like, oh, I hope people like this because I'm excited to tell it. Like, it's so nice to still feel that way about it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me know always that like I'm still doing the right thing. So
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you guys freaking love it. Is it your 10 year too? Are you guys?
I technically started next year, like, I guess technically
Coming
from
up?
like from the first time it'll be 10 years like in the spring.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You guys
It's a cool
all,
feeling.
all started stand up around I mean, I didn't, but you guys started stand up around the same time, and now we're all together.
I know, isn't that fun? I mean, I was in high school, so it's like the first couple years, like, I wasn't going
but
out
that's
that
like
much.
for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe the exception of like, Hannah, we were talking about these like really amazing comics that are just coming up and like
Starting going
really
hard
young,
right away.
yeah.
I know Ron Funches, like he was going up every night when he started because he had a kid and he's like, I have to make this my job.
Oh, wow.
So I think some people start really hardcore.
Wow,
But
yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. I used to feel insecure about saying like, oh, I started when I was 16 because it's like, but not really. And it's like people get like I've been
everybody had. I went up
Yeah.
maybe
Doing
like
this.
once a month for the first year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
same.
Exactly.
do you count that? You can't get into the semantics. I'm like, I started at this time and that's what I'm going by.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
It's
Yeah.
fine, and everybody has different. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Good.
And yeah, the on that same note, part of the process is like immersing yourself in the community of whatever you're doing, and like I think I've really put that on the back burner up until this point because I was just so anxious. And I think part of enjoying the process is like getting to know other comedians and being around and like being more a part of it. And I think I was so focused on like becoming a certain type of comedian or reaching a certain level. And at a certain point I did. And then I forgot to look around and be like, oh, I should like say hi to some people. You know what I mean? Because I was just trying so hard to like be on TV and like prove myself. And I really had to like practice some positive self-talk this year in like the last 6 months and be like, okay, I'm good at this. And I think I've established myself enough where I don't need to just be like head down, shoulders hunched, staying out of people's way. Like, I need to enjoy this.
People are happy to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to get to know people. Like that makes it so much more fun.
Right.
Than just like focusing on killing or, getting on as many shows as possible and just really like trying to build that social time into it.
Yeah, that's good.
Unrelated to work, what do you feel you need to improve most in your life? It's the life you lead outside of your work that ends up having the biggest impact on the work itself. How does your body feel? How is your mental health? What are your eating habits? What is your sleep schedule like? How is your relationship to your significant other?
I feel attacked.
This is a lot. These are the foundational pillars that are important to consider at the end of each year. I mean, that's a lot of questions in a row. So, I mean, first off, how does your body feel, everybody?
Like shit.
Well, I'm deathly ill, so
So that's a bad one.
That's a no.
Yeah, I have not been good for the last like 4 or 5 months. I have not been good since, you know, probably my breakup, like at making sure like I was working out for a while, like wasn't really eating that much and stuff. And I feel like I really need to get back on that. Like just being locked in. I feel like I was better at that.
Yeah, my only resolution this year is like wellness, like
Yeah.
moving my body, eating nutritious food, and trying to do something like, you know, meditative or something like that. A little tiny thing every day, just small. That's it. I'm only giving myself one thing. That's it.
Yeah. How's your mental health?
I think mine's improved a lot.
Yeah.
I meditated a lot this year. That was a big goal, and I actually did stick to that. So that's
And you
that
set
has-
boundaries.
Yes, the meditating, it really does help. I swear to God, like I feel less anxious this past year than I ever have my entire life.
Wow.
That's really good.
That needs to be a goal of mine this year is the meditation. I've been avoiding it because it freaks me out, but
It really does help.
yeah. My mental health feels all right. I feel like it probably is better. I saw my psychiatrist the other day and I was kind of like venting about a lot of things. I need to find a new therapist because my therapist is just not available to me enough. But she was like, it was good to talk to somebody who's been seeing me since the beginning of the year. And I took a break in the middle, but she was just like, she's like, you were way worse. Like even just like a few months ago, she's like, the meds are really helping. She's like, you are handling things so much better than you were. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, that's good. Cause sometimes it's hard. It's like someone seeing you every month while you're losing weight as opposed to someone who sees you every day at work where they notice a bigger change.
Yeah, I think my anxiety's actually gotten worse. So that's something I need to work on. I think I was like, even though I was super overworked in the beginning because I was very excited about my new business, but it didn't feel like crazy. But I was doing better to like take care of myself. And I think I was like, I was just so stoked that I could make my own schedule still. And now I've gotten used to it and I don't appreciate it as much. Yeah. So I was really like trying to like do the morning routine. And I was like stretching every morning and breathing and all this stuff. And all that shit went out the window recently, or, you know, not so recently. That's something that I actually started the year off really well. And not so great right now. So yeah.
Well, this is why we're asking ourselves these
I
questions.
know.
What
It's
are
helpful.
your eating habits? I mean,
You want to just go wait in the car?
I'll step outside for this one.
I've been good about not eating as much meat. I've been good about that.
Jolene, you became vegan this year.
I became vegan this year. I became vegan.
Should we feel proud of
I
that?
am super happy with it. It's one of
Has it only been a year that you've been vegan?
it's been less than a year. It happened in March.
It feels like it's been forever.
March.
Yeah.
So what is it?
9 years.
months?
All right.
9 months?
9 years.
Yes.
Says the
Feels like 9 years for Kelsey to
says
be around
the
me as a
former
vegan.
math major. Emphasis on former.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. It is my favorite decision that I've made, right up there with doing something I love for a living. I would say it's my favorite. I even am more passionate about it and love it more than being a minimalist. It's very much up there.
So you know it means business.
So it means a business because you fucking know I love to declutter my shit and keep things nice and tight. So that's something I've been really happy about. And my dad went vegan. My stepmom went vegan. One of my close friends just went vegan. So I have like more people around me who are doing it now, and it feels like okay. All right, I think I got some support in place and all this stuff, and
That's so great. You know, as a minimalist, I'm actually kind of surprised that you are not more interested in getting a Brazilian sugaring
Oh my God.
because it's
Stop
less
pushing.
It's less stuff for you to worry about. Declutter your nethers.
Oh my gosh, that is so
Do you get like
funny.
a discount if you refer people? Or
I swear to God,
what is
I don't.
this?
I swear to God, I don't. You do get your second one free though.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's
funny,
kind of a
dude.
good
As a
deal.
reward.
I just want you guys to do it so that you can talk about it in the podcast. But no,
my
I don't get
God.
any discount. That's funny. I do sound like I'm pushing it, like a Mary Kay consultant.
Man.
What is your sleep schedule like? Oh, my sleep is
Could be better.
Pretty solid. I think mine's consistently solid. I get enough
That's
sleep.
good.
Yeah.
Mine is always a work in progress, and I need to do other things. I need to get a sound machine that I can travel with. Or
Yeah.
I know there's probably an app on my phone too. I could
for
do.
sure, yeah.
I've been falling asleep to like The Office or something, which I think is still too much stimulation.
Yeah.
Your computer's on. That's not great. And then just like winding down. I need to read before I go to bed, and I don't.
I love
And I know
reading
that would
before
help.
bed. I'll tell you in our segments later. I'll tell you guys a book you should read.
Ooh, okay.
Dude, I don't think I've read it. I don't think I've read anything this year. Like I really don't think. I think I have stopped reading books.
Oh, I
Just
love
you know
books.
what I got into? I got into like listening to like audiobook type stuff.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
actually got into listening to podcasts this year.
Yeah.
Which I had never really listened to podcasts. And once I
Yeah.
started working from home, all day a podcast is going in the background. And so yeah, I was like, oh, I have not picked up a freaking old school paperback book.
Yeah.
At
They're
all.
great.
Yeah.
They're great.
They're great.
I
highly recommend.
discover it as a new fad. Have you guys tried reading?
Try it.
It's pretty nice.
Pretty good. And then the last one is, how's your relationship to your significant other?
Good.
Yeah,
Really
look at this hot new fiance.
Yeah, I got
Fresh off the press.
I got fiance. Yeah, we're good, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah, we're all in great relationships.
Yeah, it's
things are good.
lovely. Good men in
Frickin'
our
yeah.
lives.
Anything else you did this year that you want to add?
Ooh.
I mean, lots. I think everybody's got big shit.
Yeah.
Should we just
Yeah.
go around the table and share?
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsey, you got married this
I
year?
got married.
That's
got married.
massive.
I had a dope ass wedding.
Yeah, you
It
did
was
have a
office
dope-ass
themed.
wedding.
I just posted some pictures of the office decor. If you guys want to check it out on my Instagram, it's at Kelsey Cook Comedy. It was so much fun. It was a fucking amazing day.
Yeah.
We did it. We've talked about it a bunch. I don't need to get into it, but yeah, we got married. It was great. I don't know what other
Yeah.
big milestones. I feel like I already said them.
Yeah.
I did another late night set, and that comes out next year. I headlined more clubs this year than I did last year, and then I'm already like looking at my calendar for next year, and I feel like it's already more than it was this year, and that's so exciting to me because that's still, I think, like in my heart of hearts as a comic, I do take a lot of pride at like looking at a calendar and being like, oh, I get to go to the city and tell jokes to these people who like want to come out and hear
Yeah.
what I have to say, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Taylor?
Good. I mean, yeah, filming this special was huge. I guess I did Conan again earlier. Yeah, it's mostly been the special because I mean I sent the hour to Netflix in February, and it's gonna come out in February. So it's a year
Yeah.
after
Oh
I
my gosh,
submitted
it's so
Wow,
cool.
yeah.
that it's gonna come out, and it's crazy. I mean, this special has really changed a lot over the course of the year. I mean, obviously in a big way over the summer. And I do feel like artistically I grew a lot. And I think personally I grew a lot. And like the end of last year was when I started going back to therapy in person.
Yeah.
So now I did a lot of therapy this year.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
so much. I did individual therapy. When I started going, I was going like twice a week. I saw a psychiatrist. I have a psychiatrist now, which I've never had before. I saw a couples therapist for a couple months, which, I got a bit out of. And, yeah, just like, I don't, I'm trying to think about where I was this time at the end of last year. And I think at the end of last year, I was really happy, but I was not as, like, I didn't know myself as well.
Maybe, yeah.
And I wasn't as fully formed as a person. And I do feel like I feel a lot older this year. I just feel like kind of tired, but in a good way.
It's worn out.
Yeah, I just feel a little worn out, but kind of like, oh wow, I thought I knew what I needed to work on last year.
Yeah.
And now I really know what I need to work on. And I feel like it takes a lot longer to, fix certain things about yourself than you think you're gonna need.
For sure. For sure.
With the anxiety stuff and whatever else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
There's no fixing it, just managing it.
just managing it.
Yeah.
It really is just
Yeah.
managing it. And I think this next year, I feel the same way as you do, Kelsey, where I'm like, my calendar's very full. Hopefully things are going to change for me in significant ways. And like, there's a lot of stress and pressure going into 2020, but I'm grateful for it. And I think I'll be able to, do the road in a different way that helps me feel a little less isolated
Yeah.
and all over the place. And I think
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about just we've talked about this so much, Kelsey and I, but just making your job as comfortable as possible because you're going to spend a lot of time working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to write mine down because I want
Oh my God, that
I want my only goal next year to be my health. I'm done setting career stuff right now because I think I've gone overboard, and so I'm really giving myself the complete opposite goals.
Yeah.
But I got engaged. I left my day job. I hired a cartoonist for Dick Spy Delaney. I started a consulting business. I'm about to launch an online course. I got a puppy. We got Maverick. We rescued him. Self-Helpless reached over 1 million downloads several months back. That was
Yes,
like a
it
crazy
did.
goal that didn't even know that was a thing that we would be doing at some point.
We never made
Yeah.
it like a concrete goal, and when it happened, we were like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I'm really grateful. I feel like therapy really kicked in this year. You know, where
Yes.
it's like,
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
like
same.
I've been going to therapy through the motions and like I've been liking it, but I really saw significant changes in myself because of it this year. So I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I've also been learning to manage my time a lot better the last couple months. So I'm gonna keep that going. But so yeah, time
a great
management and
list.
health is what I'm focusing on now. The career stuff will take care of itself, hopefully, but I'm not gonna put all of my energy into that like I usually do.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid and unhealthy. So
Yeah, I think that's really smart. I feel like I made my health a huge goal, but I probably had career goals too last year.
Yeah.
But I do feel like my health was a big goal this year, and
Yeah.
in some ways I've done a good job, in some ways I haven't.
I'm taking a year off of career goals. I'm not setting a
I
single
love
one.
that.
That's
think
great.
that's great.
Yeah. All right, and our iTunes review of the episode is from Katie McHugh. Self-Helpless is the podcast I use as a joy sparkling palate cleanser.
Joy
God.
sparking.
Oh, joy sparkling. Sorry, Katie. A joy sparking palate cleanser. I love it. I spend a lot of time reading / worrying about politics and listening to true crime podcasts. So Self-Helpless is perfect to cut through that anxiety and get back to the present. It feels like having a funny, meaningful conversation with friends about how to make yourself and your life better. Thank you for everything you do, Kelsey, Delaney, and Taylor. You should all be very proud of yourselves.
Aw.
Oh, Katie, that's so nice.
That is really
so
nice.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
I love when someone says you should be proud of yourself. I'm like, thank you. Bless you.
That is so nice. And you know what we did? I think this year we went past 1,000 reviews on iTunes, I believe.
Oh
was
yeah,
something.
we're coming up on 2,000.
Oh,
we just
wow.
crossed 1,700. So
Oh, wow.
guys are
Look
the
at
best.
that.
that is really cool.
Look
and
at
it's, I
that.
mean, that's all you guys. That's all you listeners. We
Thank
love you, Helpsters.
so much. If you can leave a review, that helps the show just so much. Leaving a review, telling somebody about it, just, getting it out there.
At the least, just click the 5th star. It's just
Yeah.
one click. Anybody can do that. We got some segments.
We sure do.
Yeah, we do.
I just want to
Gross.
share a book that I guess this could be like a good shit or treat yourself. I just finished reading the book Educated by
Oh.
Tara Westover. Wow, what a phenomenal book. I usually read like murder mystery, just fiction, fun, like Girl on the Train type of shit. Educated is a nonfiction story. It's basically an autobiography about a girl who was raised in Idaho with a very strict Mormon upbringing, like without an education. So basically not even homeschooled, like lightly homeschooled, but her dad thought that, organized education and schooling was like the devil type of a thing and the government trying to brainwash people. And so she grew up uneducated, and then you're reading this book and it is so well written and so eloquent, and you're like, well, what the fuck happened to
Yeah.
get to this point? And it's the story of how she became like she got her doctorate. Like she's
gosh.
brilliant, and
Yeah.
it's such a good book. And it's just, you're reading it and you forget that it's nonfiction because you're like, I'm reading a movie. This is crazy. Like the
Yeah.
things that happened to her, it's just
wow.
bonkers. So anyway, if you guys are looking for a great book, check out Educated. I really liked
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
That's been in my Amazon cart for so long.
Really?
Yeah.
You can just borrow it if you'd like.
Can I borrow
Of
it?
course.
I would like to borrow it.
Come over to
you
my
go.
library.
Yeah. There
you
Yeah. Anyway.
On my good shit, so something very strange and cool happened recently. Okay, so I put out a comedy special like a year and a half ago, and I did it for fun, and it was like my farewell to stand-up comedy. It's free on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's called Love at First Cousin. And, talk about like not being attached to the outcome of something. I was like, all right, just throw it out there.
Yeah.
So basically, long story short is I was contacted telling me that Michael Bublé is a fan of my comedy because he watched my special, and I could not believe it. Just like 4-time Grammy winning artist, like sold millions of records and all these
Michael
things.
Bublé.
It's like I got 12,000 people on YouTube have seen this special, and one of them is Michael Bublé. It was basically like one of my mom's really close friends, like a family friend, knows him, he watched my special, and Cam and I ended up FaceTiming with Michael Bublé over the Thanksgiving holiday, and he was just so nice and told me that he really liked my stuff and my writing and all, and just we had a conversation for 10, 15 minutes, and I was just like, what a Twilight Zone moment. It's like Michael Bublé saying, really, really like your writing, I'm a fan of your delivery, all that stuff. And I was like, I'm a fan of your delivery, Michael Bublé. Like, what is happening right now? This is crazy.
Thank you for so many Christmas albums.
Yeah, I was like, Mr. Christmas? Is that you? Oh my gosh. That was like a very such a random thing. It was the most random. I just never thought that would be something.
Taylor and I were shitting our pants.
We really were. Like, what? What is your life right now?
I read that text. I mean, I barely finished every word of the text reading it with my eyes, and I just called you, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? What did you just send to me?
Yeah,
Explain yourself.
You called me so fast.
I'm sure you're like, oh, she must be calling about something else because there's no way. And I just was like, I need more information right now. What do you mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Michael Bublé is not like, just some guy.
No.
Who was big at even one point.
Right.
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
Everybody knows Michael Bublé.
Yeah, I really do.
That is impressive that everyone knows who Michael Bublé is.
Everybody knows who Michael Bublé is. Yeah.
Who doesn't like Michael Bublé?
I feel like
man.
Yeah.
Even if you're not into that type of music, you respect Michael Bublé.
You do.
Yeah. He's so talented. I mean, he's got great songs too. Like, I just haven't met you yet.
That was a great one.
That's classic.
Classic, that grocery store music video. Love.
Beautiful.
We love it.
Oh my
Feeling
God.
good.
Yeah, I walked in.
Great.
I told Cam what was happening. I was like, we might be like FaceTime chatting with Michael Bublé tonight. And he's like, what? I fucking love Michael Bublé.
That's so funny.
Oh yeah, so that was like such a random good shit,
There's never been a better shit than that.
If I had to pick one fan of my comedy, my God, Michael Bublé is a freaking solid choice.
That is a great choice.
Oh my God. Yeah, you broke my brain with that news.
Segment wise, I guess I'm gonna piggyback off of yours and just do a recommendation. I think that's a nice idea. I don't know if that's a new segment we're doing, but I'm into it.
I
Is it
like
a good
that
shit?
actually as a new segment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we need to make up a name
Hot
for it.
Rex.
Hot Rex. There we go. It's done. We
There
did
it
it. I don't know if you watched this, Kelsey, but season 3 of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel came out. Did you watch that show?
Didn't. I mean, I watched maybe
you
the
try?
first 5 or 6 episodes of the first season, and I
Couldn't get into it?
couldn't get into it.
Wow.
Also, I don't like watching
Actually-
shows about stand-up because I would like an escape.
It's like barely about stand. I mean, it is, but it's like a period piece. So it just
Yeah.
feels like.
But
I
you
get
like
that.
you like that sort of era. You know what I
I
mean?
do. You don't like period pieces when it comes to like films or TV
Sometimes.
shows.
So I'm real picky and weird about that shit.
Did you watch Mad Men?
No.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so if that's not your thing, I fucking love it. I
Yeah?
think it's so awesome. Yeah, I think it's so good. Somebody described it, I think on Twitter, I forget who did it. It was a comedian or something, said that it's like a musical with no music. And it's exactly what that show is. Like just everything is so perfect and immaculate, and like most of the people who are cast in it are like theater actors, and it's just so much of what I like. Like it is stand up, but it's not entirely like I thought the second season was like very little was about stand up, honestly, at the end of the day. And it just feels like a stand up fairy tale.
Yeah, that's
Is
a
what it
really
felt
good
like.
way to describe it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I saw the first. How many seasons are out? 3, you said?
This is the third one just came out.
I've seen first and
on
second,
Amazon.
so I just haven't watched the third yet. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's a really good way to describe that.
Yeah, it's just beautiful to watch.
glamorized.
I will say, when I was right smack in the middle of my breakup, I had to go to Ireland for work, and I was there for like a week, and I was in so much emotional pain, and I rewatched the show, and it was like the only thing that made me feel okay, because it was such a nice like distraction. It's like just so colorful and light.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those shows, like if you are thinking about death too much, watch this show, because there's nothing about death in it at all.
You know how when like a TV show is like emanated for a
Nominated.
Dominated.
Did I say it wrong for a second time?
Emanated for a Nami.
You guys, I'm
It's
so
nominated for an Emmy.
It happens.
sick. Nominated for an Emmy. Wow, that was great. And you know how like the billboards have like quotes from like big people in Hollywood about like this is a must see.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. I just want to be like, if you're thinking about death too much, it's a great
This
show.
is the show for you, Taylor Tomlinson.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel. There's so few shows that are just like comforting and distracting and make you feel very present, and that's how I feel about this show.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm so glad you found that for yourself.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh man, I feel like I should do a hot rec really quick. My
Yeah.
favorite documentary this year was Game Changers on Netflix. So good if you have not seen it. It's fantastic. It's about sexual performance and athletic performance, and there's some history, and it's funny, and there's some biology. Highly recommend. Great job.
That's
Great job, Game
awesome.
Changers. Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
I think as we've just heard from emanated, I'm done. I'm done. For
Kelsey's
the
very
night.
Just
sick.
tapping out.
I'm very ill.
You guys are the best. We all love you.
Love you so much.
TTomcomedy.com for tour dates. I'm all over the place.
Tay and I are on the road a lot in January,
A lot.
especially. KelseyCook.com for my tour dates, and we're gonna be doing shows together with Delaney.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
San Francisco sketch. Am I about to say
Sketch
more
Fest.
words wrong? San Francisco Sketch Fest on January 25th. That's a Saturday. Go to our website, get tickets. We know we got a lot of helpsters in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Super excited to see you guys. So come out to our first tour date of 2020, baby.
Yeah, also, let me know what I should do at that show, guys, if you have any ideas for me.
Yeah, let us know. Do you want?
I don't do stand-up anymore, so I was thinking about doing, like, I don't know, like a TED Talk of some kind about leaving my job, but I really don't know what to do. I might just not perform, and then I'll just do the live show with you guys.
No, you need to do
What am I
something.
supposed to-
People
Oh, I
wanna
don't know
hear
if I
from
can
you.
do stand up on it because I'm performing in the same area.
Oh, yeah.
So I might
Oh.
only be able to do.
We'll
Then
probably
maybe
just
I
do like a
won't.
live podcast.
Live
Yeah.
podcast would be great. That'll give me,
Yeah.
hey, seriously, write in your your ideas, because I have none. That'd be great. Thank you. I thought about, like, just writing some new jokes for it, but I'm like, that's not who I am
That's not
anymore. It
you.
doesn't make
Send,
sense.
Yeah, send requests of what you'd like to see a live show about. If you're thinking of coming.
Yeah,
that
we'd
would be
love
great. And yeah, I don't know. Follow me on Instagram at Delaney Fisher if you'd like to know as soon as my Thriving Artist course comes out. It's so close to being finished. I'm very excited. My test group was amazing. They're getting great results, and I love them so much. So yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for being part of Self-Helpless for another year.
Yes.
Hope you guys had a great year, and we will talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Self-Helpless. We love you guys so much. There are a few different ways you can support our show. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It really helps us move up the charts. You can also tell a friend about the show, post it on social media, and you can join our Patreon. It's where you can get bonus episodes from us and lots of really fun content and ways to interact with the show. That's at patreon.com/selfhelpless. And if you go to selfhelplesspodcast.com, that's where you can get links to all of our individual stuff. Delaney, where can people find you?
You can find me at DelaneyFisher.com. You can find the online courses there, one-on-one creative consulting, watch my comedy special, and find Dicks by Delaney there.
Perfect. Tay, where can people find you?
You can find me on ttomcomedy.com for tour dates and links to everything else social media wise. I am at Taylor Tomlinson on Twitter and Instagram.
Perfect. You guys can find me at kelseycook.com for all my tour dates. My Instagram is at kelseycookcomedy. Twitter's at kelseycook. Please be sure to watch my foosball web series on YouTube called Wrists of Fury. I've had Delaney and Taylor on together. It was such a fun episode. And you can download and buy my album Savor It on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you find comedy albums. We also want to give a shout out to our amazing producer, Lauren Mahoney, and our amazing editor, Emma Erdbrink. We love you guys, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.